Hey, what's up guys, it's Ryan. Welcome back. Today I am giving you guys a little overview. It's been super highly requested from you guys that I talk about this shoe on this channel. It's the Altra Lone Peak 4, one of their most popular trail shoes ever. So with this shoe, it is a major update over the 3.5. First, to give you guys a bit of history on the Lone Peaks. These right here are really nasty, but these were my first Lone Peaks ever, and they stink really bad. But these were my first Ultra trail shoes. This is the 2.5. They had like this mesh upper and kind of what people call like the skater shoe heel cup. Then the 3.0 came out and I skipped that. Then they came out the 3.5, and this, I went through probably 3 or 4 pairs of this 3.5 model, and I really loved it. It was just like perfect for that mid distance all the way up to ultras. I wore this model for many races. I really loved this shoe. Then they came out with the 4.0. This was a huge update. So as I said, the Lone Peak was my first trail shoe, and it really, for me, represents the standard of trail shoes. It's probably the model of ultra trail shoes that I've got the most miles in over the years. It's not minimal, it's not maximal. It's good for any distance, from like a 5K all the way up to a 100 miler. So over the years, my taste has kind of drifted. I've gone to the Superiors and the Olympus, and right now I'm wearing the Temps a lot. But I kind of always come back to the Lone Peaks. It's just, they have a special place in my heart. It just kind of represents, you know, my beginnings of trail running. With that said, let's get into some details about the newest version, the 4.0. Now I've had this shoe for a while, and it's taken me a little bit of time to put this video together because this update is such a big update and it's so different in my mind, but I really wanted to give it a fair shot and just see how all these differences stack up against the previous models. Just for a few stats, the stack height is 25 millimeters, and it's got this dual layer AV foam. It's also got this new stone guard in here. It's actually split up kind of like the bones in your foot, so it flexes more. The stone guard in the Superiors is just one big piece. This is integrated into the sole, just extra flexibility. It took a little bit to get used to because it really doesn't feel like there's a stone guard in there. You know, just like building confidence to step on things. The outsole is this new Max Track rubber, and it's got what they're calling the Trail Claw system, which they've got on a couple different pairs of shoes now. Really grippy. It's great for really muddy conditions. It's definitely a good upgrade over the 3.5. It's much more aggressive, and it just grips a lot better. And the upper is a huge change. But look at the 3.5. This upper, it's a pretty thick mesh system, and there's a lot of like this faux leather. It's just it's a burly top is what I would call it. Like there's a lot of material there. And then when you go to the 4.0, the upper is this new material, and it's much cooler in hot weather. It's more advanced, it's lighter, better material. It's just all around big thumbs up from the upper. Like I said, the sole's a lot more rugged. You just feel a lot more secure in all different conditions. And one of the big things is this heel. This is such a big improvement. The last few models, the heels all kind of look the same. They're really thick, and they've got a lot of material there, and they're also pretty low cut. They're just chunky. With the 4.0s, they got rid of a lot of that chunk, and it's much more streamlined. It feels a lot more rock solid. My heel really doesn't move around at all back here. Really big improvements to the heel cup. And the old model had these drain holes too, but I feel like these drain holes on the 4.0 work just a little bit better. I went through some really nasty conditions on my last run, ankle deep water, and these drain holes actually worked really well. Like when you step out of a puddle and go your next couple steps, you can see the water squirting out. Another big change is the toe box. If you look at the 3.5 and then you look at the 4, I don't know if you can really tell that much of a difference on the camera, but when these go on your feet, there's a huge difference. There's a lot more room in the toe box on the 4. The 3.5, there was just a little bit of pressure here, like on the toes, and so I always had to go a half size up. But with the Lone Peak 4.0, I went back down to my normal size, so that I think they added a little bit up here to give you a little bit more space up there, and it just really works really well. Another huge upgrade from the 3.5 to the 4 is the lacing system. If you look at the lacing system on the 3.5, you've got basically just a typical tennis shoe lacing system. On the 4, you've got a much higher quality lace. And then you've got this synthetic leather that's holding it on. It's a lot quicker to tie and untie. And you've got these 2 parts right here that are actually connected all the way down. These actually tighten and grip your foot in a way that makes it feel really secure. Big upgrade on the lacing system. But like with every shoe upgrade, there's always a few things that change. So I want to give you some things to watch out for when you're upgrading from really any of the models up to the 4.0. First of all, and this is the thing that's all over the internet, you don't really even have to go that far to realize that the sole changed a lot. It's much more flexible. When I put these on for the first time and went for my first run, my thought was, oh my gosh, this feels like a thicker King MT. The outsole, the midsole, the padding, the inside, just everything, it just feels, it ran more like a King MT or even like a Superior than the old Lone Peaks. These 3.5s Lone Peaks and the 2.5s, they just had this really tough midsole. You could step on anything with these midsoles. And it was also shaped kind of like a boat. I don't know. But when you ran, you really felt like it was rocking your foot forward. With the 4.0, that's not there anymore. It's a lot more flexible of a sole and it sits more flat, so you don't get that rolling feeling, which the old Lone Peaks were the only shoe that I ever felt that with. It's just something different, something to watch out for. When you're getting this shoe, it just rides a little bit differently. Altra, what they've done is they've taken this shoe, shot it into the future, and this is a much more advanced shoe. It's a lot more flexible, it's a lot grippier, and it just rides differently. I don't know, I would argue anybody that said that their Lone Peaks wore out in the first 5K. It's just, I think honestly what a lot of people are feeling is this new stone guard that is shaped like the bones in your foot. It's not just a flat piece of plastic that's giving you a ton of resistance and a ton of stability in there. They split that up so that you still have a stone guard, so that if you step on something bad, your foot is protected, but it flexes more as your foot should flex. Gosh, this mud just keeps falling off of these everywhere. The only other thing I'll say to watch out for that I've already mentioned, but I just do want to highlight it, is that the sizing will be a little bit different. I had to go down a half size from my previous models, but now I wear the same size every single pair of Altras, except for the Olympus. I still go up a half size. So what have I used this shoe for? I use this shoe for short trail runs. I use it for long trail runs. I think plenty of people will wear it for 100 milers. It's flexible and fast enough that you could even wear it in a 5 or 10K. It really shines in muddy conditions, but also what I found with this Max Track outsole is it's just really great in dry conditions too, like hopping rock to rock. Just felt really solid. This is a serious outsole. It means business. It's not gonna mess around with the mud. It's good for jumping on rocks. So in conclusion, over the last year or two, a lot of their shoes have gone through a complete redesign. The original, like the One, you've got the Olympus, you've got the Superior that's coming out, you've got the Lone Peak. I'm probably forgetting a couple. Every time they've done that, they've taken that shoe and really like made it a lot more advanced, upgraded all of the materials, and I believe that this is the Lone Peak that they've probably wanted to make for a long time. The first time I put it on, it felt really different from the other Lone Peaks. I want to be honest with you guys. But the more I've worn this shoe, the more I feel like I understand where Altra is taking this. I really don't take care of my shoes. That's one of the things that I own that I just don't really take care of. I like using them. I don't know. After 50 miles, there's a tiny bit of wear here and there, but really not much. Both shoes, the rubber on the toes is still completely intact, which is usually the first thing to go when you're looking at shoes falling apart. I'm not getting any weird wearing inside the shoe. I feel like it's gonna hold up. All right, so if you're thinking about these shoes, if you're curious, Altra's own website has a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you go to Amazon, there's free returns, no questions asked. I've got a link down below for that. If you're already running in these shoes, tell me what you think about them. I'm always interested in what you guys' opinions are. I think you have valuable input, so let me know down below. And as always, I'll be down in the comments. Ask all your questions, I'll answer all of them, and have fun out there on those trails. I'll see you again soon. Bye.